What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Going for Two Sports podcast. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Jalen Hurts draft choice by the Philadelphia Eagles and reacting to that. Also, we are going to be answering some questions about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and how good they will really be in the 2020 season. Let's go ahead and get started. So, what are your opinions of the Eagles drafting Jalen Hurts?
Well, I don't hate it. It might be a bit early, but it's okay. So Foles became a free agent and signed with the Jaguars last year. It was obvious that the Eagles were sold on Wentz. Hurts? He's an excellent runner, has great mobility. He is also a relatively accurate thrower who was, let's not forget, in the Heisman race this past year. See, Hurts is not a replacement for Wentz, but he's to provide depth to the quarterback position as Carson Wentz has a history of getting injured. There's a rumor that Hurts may play like a Taysom Hill, but not exactly the way the Saints play Hill. In free agency and the draft, the Eagles got speed with Jalen Reagor at the wide receiver position and John Hightower, and they also got Marquise Goodwin from the 49ers. Then they got corners that were much needed, including Darius Slay from the Lions and Nicole Roby-Coleman from the Rams.
Yes, I definitely agree with you, Ian, that it was a wise pickup by the Eagles. I was personally very high on Hurts and thought he was being undervalued a lot. I could have seen him going in the first round, actually. As a Steeler fan, I kind of wish they picked him up as a replacement for Big Ben, as Big Ben's getting a lot older. So do you think he was taken too early in the draft by the Eagles, or could they have waited if they really wanted him?
I really don't see a possibility in the Eagles waiting until round 3. I mean, Jalen Hurts is amazing. I personally, as a Packers fan, wish that Jalen Hurts had dropped to the Packers round 3 for a future replacement for Aaron Rodgers, but obviously we took Jordan Love. I mean, Jalen Hurts, as Ian noted, was a Heisman finalist. Hurts reminds me of Russell Wilson with their muscular stature. Both of them have very good accuracy. Jalen Hurts posted a 70% completion rate in his senior season, and both of them are running threats, as Jalen Hurts rushed for 1,298 yards in his senior season, which is remarkable. I heard a rumor that the Eagles took Jalen Hurts, actually because in the 2012 draft they passed on Russell Wilson, which turned out to be a very bad move, and Russell Wilson and Jalen Hurts have drawn comparisons to each other. So I see that why the Eagles would make this move. The offense could eventually see Jalen Hurts taking substantial playing time later into his first season, because at this point, Wentz is just a restraint and has consistently disappointed the Eagles, and he has hindered the offense with his inconsistent play. Personally, I see Jalen Hurts easily adapting to the quickly moving offensive scheme of the Eagles, which is similar to the offensive scheme he played in Oklahoma. However, there is no clear number one receiver for the Eagles, as every receiver on the team has shown inconsistent hands. This includes rookie wide receiver Jalen Reagor out of TCU. Picking Jalen Hurts is a great move for the future, however, it is a terrible move for the next 2 years. I see the Cowboys winning the division with their high-powered offense, as the new addition of CeeDee Lamb takes their offense to next levels, and they have a hard-hitting defense which only has a couple of holes.
Hurts is more of a Robert Griffin III to me, as Russell Wilson can actually throw the ball with precision accuracy. Hurts needs to work on his progressions as he just sticks with predictable targets and throws poor passes. Jalen Hurts was projected as an early third rounder, but like Ohm said, the Eagles did not want to pass on him like Russell. I have no problem with this pick. To your point, there really is no true number one wide receiver for the Eagles, but I expect the two most targeted receivers being Deshaun Jackson and Alshon Jeffrey, if healthy. I agree with Ohm that the Cowboys have this division for the next couple of years, as they had a draft now attitude with CeeDee Lamb in the first round, Trayvon Diggs in the second, and Neville Gallimore in the third.
Yeah, guys, I'm not as high on the Cowboys as you guys are, but that's a discussion for a different time.
I still have to disagree with Ian on the comparison to RG3. Jalen Hurts threw for 3,851 yards in his senior season with around a 70% completion rating, which surpassed fellow rookie quarterbacks Justin Herbert, Jordan Love, Jacob Eason, and Jake Fromm. His stats are similar to Tua Tagovailoa, although the precise accuracy is lacking in Hurts. I do agree with Ian that Hurts' decision-making is poor and needs to see improvement in that area for Hurts to be a viable starting QB. Hurts has shown that he was a leader and has shown consistent production, which has never came out of Wentz. Wentz is out of his prime and has failed to put up any eye-catching stats in the last couple of years, and there is a possibility that Hurts could be the backup that finally surpasses the frail Carson Wentz.
So from the Eagles' management point of view, do you guys think that they drafted him as a replacement or as a backup for Carson Wentz?
Hurts is the backup. Wentz is easily the true number one for this Eagles team. This is why they got rid of Nick Foles. But you can't count on a healthy Wentz, and this is why they have to draft backup quarterbacks for Wentz. Nick Foles, the backup, won Super Bowl 52 as a backup versus the infamous Tom Brady. Wentz, he tore his ACL in 2017. He suffered a season-ending back injury in 2018, and then he was knocked out of a game by a hit from Jadeveon Clowney in this past season's divisional versus the Seahawks. But the Eagles do have a history of having a viable backup option. Michael Vick to Donovan McNabb, Chase Daniels to Sam Bradford, and now Nate Sudfeld. But this is why they drafted Hurts, because a 4-year contract for $6 million is much cheaper compared to the 1-year deal for $2 million to Nate Sudfeld.
I sort of agree with Ian. Wentz is loved by the fan base and will be the quarterback for at least most and potentially all of the 2020 season. But these injuries have been adding up and are seriously worsening his play from his previous Pro Bowl type skill. Hurts will definitely start as a backup, there's no question to that, but there is a good possibility that he will have a chance to start within the next 2 years. What he does with that chance just depends on his decision making and his accuracy.
O makes a really great point when he says that Hurts has a good chance at starting in this next season. There's no question that Hurts will be the second string option, as who the heck is Nate Sudfeld? I think Hurts will always be a relative thrower, but it is a skill he can improve on. His mobility provides him with that extra skill that is becoming more common in our NFL, seen with Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson. Wentz needs to preserve himself, or he and the Eagles' playoff chances are very slim.
I completely agree with that take.
Nice debate, guys. Let's move into our next topic, which is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So in the wake of the Tom Brady signing and the Gronk trade, how good do you guys think the Bucs are really? Are people overreacting to these moves?
The Bucs will be better than last year for sure. Honestly, Brady is getting old. His completion percentage has only decreased since 2016 from 67.4% to 60.8%. He's not the answer, but he is better than Jameis Winston as he is more safe. Gronkowski, he's also overrated. He has always been, in my opinion, as he is injury prone, especially as he took the year off being retired. But the Bucs have really amazing receivers in Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, who are both studs. Both finished in the top 15 for most receiving yards this past year, Godwin being 3rd and Evans being 13th. Mike Evans provides strength and really good length for the wide receiver position, while Godwin can play as a deep threat or in the slot and shows really good explosiveness and speed to blow by defenders.
Ian, you talked about their passing threat, but what about their running threat?
The Bucs did draft 2 solid backs this year in Keyshawn Vaughan out of Vanderbilt and Raymond Calais out of Louisiana. Ronald Jones II will return with his bursts and juice, but the Bucs did lose Peyton Barber, who was their number 2 running back from last year. Now the question is, do they make the playoffs? And my answer is, I really don't know. If they were in a different division, then I would have to say yes, but the NFC South is a darn hard division to win. The Saints are always super talented and hard to beat, especially at home. They have weapons such as Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, and Drew Brees, who is just too good and too accurate. The Falcons have streaks where they underperform, but they are talented with Matt Ryan at the quarterback position, Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley playing wide receivers, and now Todd Gurley at the running back position. The Panthers have the best running back with Christian McCaffrey and have really solid and young offensive weapons. Heading into this year, the questions surrounding the Panthers are with their defense.
I completely agree with Ian. The NFC South will not be ruled by the Bucs as their system has completely changed. The team has improved, but Brady was nowhere near a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback last year, and with age, obviously will decline more this year. Gronk was a beast. Emphasis on was. He has not seen the field for a while and has passed his prime in retirement. However, a lower seed in the playoffs is still a viable option if the team competes. All of the interdivision games are really tough, and the slacking on this team will just destroy their season. Former Pats linebacker Ted Bruschi said that sometimes the Patriots fell into the Brady effect, believing Tom Brady would just put the team on his back. This strategy will definitely not work in 2020.
Personally, I think they've been a bit overrated by the media. Brady is obviously in the back end of his career, and it is only a matter of time before he hits a serious decline. With no OTAs this season because of the global crisis right now, he will have struggles adapting to the new Bucs system early on. Gronk is not going to be a quality tight end next year. I just really can't see it, especially him coming out of retirement and not playing for a year. I agree with Ian. Gronk is quite injury prone, and taking a season off will certainly not help with his condition. I think Brady's stats will improve from last year, though, because of the good receiving core that he has in Tampa Bay. But what if he gets injured? He is getting a lot older, and the O-line in Tampa is not great despite being improved during the draft. And, I mean, what would happen if Blaine Gabbert, right now he's the Tampa Bay backup, what would happen if he steps in? So a question for you guys is, what will their record be next season? I say 9-7. And that's still better than last season, but it's not as good as most other people think.
I completely agree with them. I see them beating the Panthers at least once, and the Falcons the same. But the Saints are just a really good team, so that one's tough. To Jack, Brady could have a better year with better targets, but the question is, who will be the better tight end? O.J. Howard or Gronk that they just got? The O-line did have the best tackle in Wirfs in the draft, but that only solves one of the many holes in this offensive line. I actually disagree with Jack, as I feel they have the potential to go 11-5, but have an even lower floor at 7-9, which was last year's record. When you say the media is overhyping them, I get where you were coming from, but this team is truly exciting, as it has so many offensive weapons. But defense wins championships, and they have Shaquille Barrett in the linebacker position, who led the league in sacks with 19.5. This defense is pretty exciting.
I have two sides to this. I completely agree with Ian when it comes to the potential of this team. It is a very interesting offense paired with a consistent defense. I also agree with Jack when the team could be one of the most overrated and overhyped teams in this decade. Overall, this team could shock us all and have a losing record, but the potential of this team could bring success during the regular season, which could drive into the playoffs.
Nice job with your takes, guys. All right, well, thank you very much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and check out other podcast segments around the channel. We are going to be uploading every Monday and Thursday, so stay tuned for more. Thanks again for watching.